Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners just like you make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly. It's episode 159, and I am so glad that you're here today because I'm talking to you about 3 life lessons that I've learned from 3 years of podcasting. I'm going to pass these lessons on to you because I know they're going to make so much of a difference in the way that you approach your new business. If you are new here, welcome. I am so glad that you found this podcast. Each week I provide you valuable tips and strategies for turning what you know and love into a new product or service business. And I'm so happy you're here. If you're just getting your business started, I want you to grab some freebies. Did you know I have freebies for you? I do. All you have to do is scroll down right now. I have a 16-step checklist for starting your business. You can grab it, print it. People tell me they love it. They keep it out on their desk and they work through everything. It's awesome. And then I also have an Ikigai guide. It's called Reason for Being. And oh, how appropriate with this episode. But it's a Japanese term that means reason for being. And it's called Ikigai. And it's like this Venn diagram. And so it will help you map out what you're meant to be doing in your business in terms of a business idea. So I hope you'll grab those if you're new. And also for everyone listening, if you are not in my Facebook group yet, you need to get in there. It's called Women Starting Businesses Doing What We Love. And if you scroll down below, you'll see that link as well. I'm personally inviting you in. All you have to do is click the link. It's going to take you to Facebook. There's going to be 3 really quick questions. Make sure you answer those. I'll approve you in the group and you will be in. We have so many fun posts each week, so many supportive women. And I'm just so happy that you now have a place to call home, that you can start your business with other people starting their businesses. Even if you're just in the idea stage and you're toying around with this, it's a great place to be because you can ask questions, inquire, get feedback, all that good stuff. So welcome all you new people. And if you've been listening to this podcast a while, I want to thank you so much to all my loyal listeners. It's been an awesome ride. I have people that are in my programs and people who tell me now, I've been listening to you since the very beginning. Say what? For 3 years, you've been listening to this? Oh my gosh. Well, you know what that says to me? That says that you find it valuable. And it warms my heart. It makes me so happy. You have no idea. I do this every week because I genuinely love it. It is not something I've ever dreaded. I get excited to come up here in my daughter's old bedroom and record this podcast. I literally get excited. I was downstairs a minute ago and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to go record latest episode. I need to hurry and do it before I go take my daughter to dance this afternoon. And y'all, I love it. It's not hard for me. It's not stressful. It's actually something so rewarding. So I want to thank you and thank you all for the wonderful reviews over the years. Y'all have been nothing but supportive. And I have a favor. If you have been listening a while and you do find value in this podcast, would you be so kind, just really quick, to hit the 5-star rating. And that will, give, if you're an Apple Podcast or Spotify or whatever, it will tell that player that this podcast is valuable and hopefully show it to more people like us who are passionate about what they're doing and just want to make money doing what they love. So anyways, thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello everyone. How are you today? Are you having an amazing day? I hope you are having an amazing day. I'm having an amazing day. If I can say that, I almost buttered over my words. I've had a big morning. I had Bible study this morning, raced home, ate some lunch, took my dog on a walk, worked a little bit. Now I get to come up here. This was like my reward to come up here and do this podcast episode. And I just was really just sitting here reflecting on the last 3 years of this podcast and how awesome it's been, and that I can't believe I'm here. Like, I'm actually still doing this 3 years. What? Like, I can't even believe it. And I want you to realize in your life that you can have this same feeling. You really can. You could have a moment of reflection and look back and go, holy moly, I did it. And I want you to have that. Have you ever had that in your life? Like, think about it. Have you ever maybe done a half marathon or even a 5K or taken on some new fitness program, or maybe you took on a new way of life or new habits, or maybe you quit an addiction, or maybe you left a toxic relationship. Maybe you started anew. Maybe you started doing something to make yourself look better and feel better, whatever it is. I hope in your life that you've had these moments, because if you have, you know what this feels like. You know what I'm talking about. Think about it right now. Something amazing that you accomplished. I mean, I even think about when I ran a half marathon. Like, that was a huge deal after I'd had my third child. My sister lived in California and I lived in Colorado. And she was like, you know what? We should do a half marathon. And she was in California and I thought, oh, I should come there and we could do a half marathon. So we trained long distance with each other over, I forget how many weeks it was, maybe 8 weeks or something, and built up to a half marathon. And I wasn't even a runner at all. And it was just so awesome. Now, I had been working out, so I was physically fit. I just had to get those muscles working that were for running, right? And that feeling of she and I running and then crossing the finish line, there was just nothing better, right? It's even when you're raising a child, when you send a kid off to college, you're like, oh my gosh, I did it. I raised a child, and I know the child has its own mind and determines its own future. But when you realize that you gave it all you got, it's so rewarding. So today, I want to share with you 3 big life lessons that I've learned from the past 3 years of podcasting. And I can't believe it. It almost makes me teary-eyed. Okay, it does make me teary-eyed. It does. But I wanted to talk through 3 life lessons that I want to pass on to you. I hope you'll take these to heart, whether you're on a walk right now, whether you're driving, whether you're doing laundry in your house with your headphones on, whether you're cooking. I have people tell me all these random things that they do when they listen to me. Some of you are carpooling, like you're taking your kids to and from practice or from school. And just so you know, there's no explicatives on this podcast, so you can always share it with your children. I'd love to be someone that could be a voice of reason and of hope and motivation in their lives. So the first thing that I've learned, the first big life lesson, is that you need to start the thing already, because life is short. There's something that you've had in your mind, whatever it is. And a lot of you, it's a business. For a lot of you, it's doing this. It's starting a business. It's been something that you've been dreaming of. You have some skill or passion or artistic ability, or you've got something that you've been wanting to share with the world. Maybe you're embarrassed, scared, whatever it is, right? But you have been putting it off. I had a friend message me after she listened to, what episode did I have it on? She was at 149. Why day one is so much better than just saying one day. Okay. And she said that really struck her. She is a friend of mine, Camille. So shout out to Camille. She is not starting a business, but she'd always wanted to write a book. And she said, I heard that and it was just the last thing I needed. I needed that episode and I went and I did it. And she's been messaging me with all the progress she's been making with writing her first book. And it just makes me so happy. That's what I want to say to you today. Start the thing already, whatever it is, writing a book, a new fitness program, starting a new job, starting a new fitness program, starting a new eating habit, starting to make friends more, starting to put yourself out there, starting to not be embarrassed about putting yourself out there, about announcing to everyone that you're starting a business. Start the thing already. Y'all, life is short. We only have so many days. We're all dying. I know that's morbid. Sorry, but I'm trying to make a point. We are all dying right now. So start living. Start living and do the thing, whatever it is that you've been wanting to do. And if it's a business, you're in the right place, because this is what I do every week, is try to help you with getting started, to get past the fear, to stop the perfectionism, to just get yourself moving and take those first steps and realize that it's not that bad. It's not as daunting as you think it is, that once you start getting in it, you're like, okay, I can actually do this, right? But start the thing already. So when I was in transition from closing my other businesses in 2000, what was it, 18, 19? I think 18. Now I can't even remember, y'all. This is running all together. And then I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Y'all know this. If you've been listening a while, I thought about opening a facial spa. Then I was like, should I go back to work in sales? Because I used to work at Dell Computers in sales before I started my first business. What should I be doing? I want to do something different than just the online gifts, because I'd done that for so long. To me, it kind of felt like it run its course. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for something. And then I thought, I could public speak. I've always wanted to do that. I used the Ikigai guide that I mentioned at the episode. Those were the things that I found on the internet and put together for y'all. That's why I created that guide, because I used it to try to figure out what I should do. And I had done that guide and I'd done everything. Well, not that guide, because I created the guide, but some of the steps that I put in there for you, and realized, gosh, I've always wanted, I used to want to be a news broadcaster. And then I always thought it would be fun to be on QVC and selling products. Are y'all laughing right now? QVC. Where they sell the products. I wanted to do that. I wanted to share products with the world that I truly believed in and enthusiastically motivate people. Enthusiastically motivate. Is that like a double negative or whatever? Anyways, enthusiastically motivate people to purchase. I love that. I love helping people with things that I know can help them. So I'd always dreamed of that. Well, anyways, trying to figure out what I was doing. Should I go start speaking locally? And then I saw an ad about starting a podcast. It was just an ad that had popped up on my screen, probably because I'd been looking at public speaking. And I was like, kick off your public speaking career with a podcast. And I was like, a podcast. And I had just found podcasts not long before that. My very first podcast, fun fact, was Serial. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Serial, about that murder case. Oh my gosh, true crime. Loved it. That was my first podcast, and I was completely addicted and obsessed. So I was like, yes, I'm starting a podcast. I immediately started it. And y'all have heard this over the past episodes, that I went to a podcasting convention. And again, I talk about this in episode 149, so I won't go in the whole thing, but I just did it. I literally just did it and didn't even think twice. My husband was like, you're doing what? You're starting a podcast? And my son was like looking at me like, what is my old mother doing? She thinks she's going to like go viral or something. Does she think she's like a YouTuber? Or I don't know what he thought. If he thought that I was an influencer, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I just wanted to spread a message. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. And my girls were looking at me like, you're going to start a podcast? And they're like gritting their teeth and trying to smile under their teeth. You'll know what I'm talking about when people do that to you and you tell them something exciting and they kind of look at you and smile, like nervously smile at you. That's what I got. Yeah. But anyways, my point is, I started the thing. I started the podcast. And here I am 3 years later, y'all. And pretty quick, the podcast gained momentum in 2020, because in 2020, COVID hit and the podcast started steadily growing after that, because I think people were at home and then they were on podcasts and they were trying to figure out what they're going to do with their career, and they'd always wanted to start a business. And it started moving. And quickly I was moving up in the ranks. And, I got to the top 2% worldwide in maybe 2021. And then it quickly moved up to 1.5% worldwide of podcasts. And then it moved up to 1%. I've been kind of sitting at the 1%. Granted, I'm no famous podcaster or anything like that, but just from a girl recording this in a bedroom about how to, start a business is fascinating to me, that how this can be of the whole planet in the top 1% listened to. My point is, do the thing. Start the thing today. You need to get it going now because you need the momentum to get you to where you want to be. Start the thing. It will pay off. This is a life lesson to myself too. Like if I want to start something, I'm going to start it. And I'm not going to overthink it. And I'm not going to be like this crazy person. Like, should I do it? Like, what's going to happen if no, just go in the best way that I can, in the smartest way possible. Okay. Start the thing, y'all. Life is short. You never know what can happen. Your life can change in an instant. I'm not trying to be negative, but it can, right? Anything can happen. You could get relocated. You could, get a divorce, or you could get married. You could meet the person of your dreams. You could have another child. You could have no children and take on a whole new way of life. Whatever it is, you don't know. So I'm saying carpe diem, seize the day and start the thing already. That's my number one life lesson. Start the thing already because life is too short. Number 2, believe that great things can happen to you. Believe that great things can happen to you because they will. Do you believe that? Today, as you're listening, do you actually believe in good things? Are you allowing for space in your life for great things to happen? And you're like, huh? What does that mean? Am I allowing space? Are you taking steps so that there's possibilities of great things happening? If you're never taking steps toward whatever you want to do, then there's no room for great things. And you're just sitting around going, okay, great things, let them happen. No. It's like saying, I want to manifest $1 million tomorrow. It's not going to happen. You have to be doing things to bring that energy to you. Not to sound woo-woo, but it's true. What you put out into the world is what you get back. Believe that great things can happen. Start taking steps. Start moving. Allow for these great things. Because once you start moving and you're going, right? And now you've created this space where there's all this possibility floating around you, you are going to start sensing accomplishment. Yeah, you're going to have a sense of self-accomplishment, right? You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can actually achieve. You do a couple things, you realize, holy cow, I can do this. Now, when you do the first couple of things, they're going to be messy. They're going to be ugly. Who cares? Who cares? That's why, for example, I have my Just Getting Started group. So all of you right now that are starting and you feel weird and you're like a little uncomfortable and you're scared to even tell people you're starting a business, you're scared to put your product or service out there and you just feel weird. That's why I created the Just Getting Started group. So you have a space. You have a private, safe space. Everyone needs that, right? You have to allow for great things to happen by taking steps forward, okay? Because things can get bigger and better than you ever dreamed. It's just like when I started my first business with a friend. We were like, let's sell home goods in Austin, Texas, and we were doing pop-up shows around. Who knew that doing that we didn't overthink it at all, y'all. We were like, let's do it. We started at night. I was pregnant with my first child. I mean, it was crazy. We both worked at Dell Computers and we were so busy, but we didn't even care. We didn't go, I wonder, will I have time? No, let's do this. This is going to be a blast. Let's go. Who knew that years later, I would end up having 2 online stores that were multi-6 figures each? Who would know that? Nobody would know that. I would have never predicted that in a million years. People always looked at me like, oh, you sell earrings and bags, like thinking she must make like $50 a month. No, women love monogrammed and personalized gifts. And we went gangbusters, right? Do things so that you can create the space for great things to happen to you. If I had never started that first business with my friend Jenny, if I had never started this podcast here and then started my coaching business, all of these great things that were a result of that would have never happened. It's just like I was thinking about too. When I was in college, I went to 2 different universities. I started out at Baylor University in Waco, Texas, where Chip and Joanne are. So Baylor University, I started there for 2 years. Then I transferred. And I debated a long time. Do I transfer to UT? I was going, I'm from Austin and I go back to the University of Texas. And it was this long thing. And I thought if I can get straight in the business school, I'm transferring. And I said, that's it. If I get in, I'm going. And I got into the business school. So I was like, I'm going back to Austin. It was a third of the price of Baylor, which I loved Baylor, but it was a third of the price. And I went back in with some friends that I'd had from high school. So it was totally fun and awesome and perfect. But I think about the ripple effect of that. And I was telling one of my daughters that the other day, like the ripple effect of that is that the whole reason I wanted to transfer because Austin was more city and I could get an internship, and being a business major, I was super scared at the time because this was in 1992, or when did I graduate college? I graduated college in 94. So this was 92, and it was just scary for business majors, and I needed to be in a city. And at the time, Waco just didn't really have anything. Not that it has a lot now besides Chip and Joanne. But anyways, I got my internship at Dell my senior year, worked there my senior year, got a job when I graduated, was working, and I met my husband, David, there at Dell. Okay. And so the ripple effect of that moment when I said, should I maybe put in my application to the University of Texas? Because if I can get in the business school, this would be great. If I had not done that and went for it and took a step and allowed room for great things to happen, it would not have happened. Now, I'm sure it would have been fine had I stayed at Baylor, but I cannot imagine my life any different now. I took steps for possibility. I created room for possibility. Okay. Some things don't work out. Some things do, but great things can happen when you start moving toward a dream, toward a vision. Okay. You will not believe what you can accomplish. That's number 2. Believe that great things will happen, because they will. If you're taking steps, you're creating room for possibility and great things to happen. Okay, so let's review, and then we'll go to number 3. Number 1, first life lesson is start the thing already, because life is short. Number 2, believe that great things will happen, because they will. They will. When you make room for them, they will. Number 3, here's my big one. I never knew before this podcast what this truly meant. Wholeheartedly serve others, because it will bring so much meaning to your life. Wholeheartedly serve others, because it will give your life new meaning. It really will. Oh, I had no idea. I had no idea that starting a podcast, selfishly starting a podcast, even though I wanted to share a message, it was in a selfish way. I'm going to just be honest. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is all about me. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying like, oh, I've always wanted to do this. I want to share this message, right? Had no idea the influence that my words would have on people. Had no idea. And after those first episodes, I realized that for free, I'm serving people. For free. I wasn't getting paid, like the podcast. I'm talking about the podcast. I'm not talking about my coaching. I'm talking about the podcast. For free, I'm serving people. It's actually costing me to serve people, because I pay for an editor. Shout out to Duncan. I pay for an editor every week, and I have since the beginning. Okay? But I soon realized after the first few episodes, wait, I've got to help these people. They need help, because I started getting messages. Oh my gosh, your podcast is awesome. I've been wondering like how to do this, and I've been scared, and I just don't know. I'm embarrassed. Like, do I do this? Is it risky? Blah, 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 the whole thing. And so the more I got to know y'all, the easier the podcast episodes became. These are so easy. You know why? Is it because I'm a genius? Absolutely not. I'm not a genius. Is it because I have someone telling me every day what y'all are doing, and they're coming to me and reporting like a little reporter? No, it's because I've gotten to know you through all my programs, right? Grow Getters, now the Just Getting Started group, one-on-one coaching, through my free Facebook group. I've gotten to know you and realized how you could best be served. Like, what could I provide you with that would help you? And that's all I do. That's all this podcast is me wholeheartedly every week serving you. Am I saying that because I want a pat on the back or an attaboy? No, I'm saying it because when you do something like this, where you wholeheartedly serve people, the rewards are abounding. They're more than you could ever imagine. My career now is so rewarding. This podcast is so rewarding. There's a way in your business that you can be wholeheartedly serving people. It may just be when you deal with a client that you go above and beyond, that you make sure everything's great and they're happy, that you are in tune with what they really need and not doing things just because you need to make a buck. You're doing it because you want to better other people's lives. So think about it in your business. What is it? Whether you're offering a product or service or even consulting services or coaching or whatever it may be, do you even know the little things that you do that actually really serve people? You may not even know because you're doing it so subconsciously. I have clients that do this, that will help their customers or help other, like my Grow Getters, y'all, are amazing. Kim Aguilar, I've known her to talk to several people for an hour after one of our calls because she just wanted to help them. That's wholeheartedly serving people. They are not a client of hers. She's talking to people to help people. What are you doing in your business that is wholeheartedly serving them? You may not even realize that you're already doing it. And all I want you to do is identify it and realize the difference that you are making in others' lives by wholeheartedly serving them with no agenda, with no expectation of payment or a review or a Yelp review or a Google, whatever. No expectation. Just wholeheartedly serving and showing up in whatever capacity you show up, whether it's in person, you do, lives on Instagram, or you do posts, or when you are dealing with a client, you are wholeheartedly serving them, or a customer. You're shipping. When I used to ship all my, gifts and all that stuff, I would make sure everything was packaged cute. And I served in a way that I could. And if they asked a question from customer service, I was super sweet. If I talked to them on the phone, I was super nice. I was there to serve them and help them. This wasn't about an agenda, because your business will come when you are serving people. Now, you have to be smart. You can't serve for free all the time. But when you have interaction with your people and you're wholeheartedly serving, it is giving your life so much meaning. I cannot even tell you. Think about it right now in your business. If you have one, or maybe you haven't had one, maybe you've been doing something similar to what you want to do in your business and you've helped people. Maybe you did it for free, whatever it is, home organizing. Maybe you're an artist and you did something, who knows? And you did it for free and you just served them. Wasn't it the best feeling in the world? Didn't it give you meaning? Didn't you feel like a good human? That's what podcasting has taught me, that wholeheartedly serving people gives us all meaning in our lives. It really does. And it can be new meaning for you if you haven't been doing this. It gives such meaning. So let me review again these 3 life lessons that I want you to take with you today. They're what I've learned from the past 3 years here podcasting. Number 1, start the thing already, because life is short. Start it today. Go. What's your next step? Number 2, believe great things can happen, because they will. If you believe great things will happen, you'll start taking action and you'll have room for great things to happen. Okay. And number 3, wholeheartedly serving people gives your life new meaning. Wholeheartedly serving people. Okay. So start the thing, allow for great things, and wholeheartedly serve. Those are your life lessons today, people and friends and everyone who's listening. Y'all are amazing. I want to invite you today. If you're just starting your business and you want to put all the perfectionism and all the craziness and insanity and confusion and overwhelm that is coming with starting a business, if you want to put all of that aside and start in a confident way, in a simple way, in a strategic way to set yourself up for success, I'm inviting you today into my Just Getting Started group. Yes. It's my new group. It's been open for a few months. We have some amazing women in there who are starting businesses. We've got service providers. We've got Etsy sellers. We've got people who are doing their own products on their own website. Whatever yours may be, come jump in. I have everything laid out for you. How to start your business, how to put all the foundations in place, all that good stuff. It's super fun. You have help from me anytime. We have a private group and it's a blast. And I would love to have you. And if you've already opened your business, you're like, I've already opened. Now what programs do you have for me? Well, I have Grow Getters. Do y'all know about this? Yes, Grow Getters is my group program. We have once a month Zoom strategy sessions. Yes. If you've got your business open, You need to be talking with other business owners. You need to be learning from them. You need to be putting things forward that you are struggling with. We do that once a month. You have all kinds of training on how to turn your business into a growth machine. Yep. We talk about it, how you can start attracting your right people and start generating a constant flow of leads and sales in your business. So I'm inviting you to the Just Getting Started group and Grow Getters today, depending on your stage of your business. Check out the links below. I've put my heart and soul into these programs, and thank God I have such amazing women in there who are making so much progress, and I would love to support you too. So that's it. Y'all have a great day. Until next time, bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.